this is the Outer Banks, North Carolina that we're sitting in front of, that we're here, in our travel ventures. And when we started this thing, when we were in Turks and Caicos a few months ago, that when we travel, we're going to do a podcast episode so that you guys can enjoy the experience with us, and we can kind of like take you through why we're here and our thought processes and the life that we get to live, and love that we get to connect. And I got to be honest, these are Angie's ideas, to have these episodes where we jump on here from the place we are so that we can share our lives and share a little bit of our travels with you guys. So thanks for being here. And without further ado, this is my beautiful wife, Angie, again.
We are actually, so Mike said we're in the Outer Banks. We're actually in Corolla, North Carolina. We are one of the furthest beaches down. We are right next to what's called the four-wheel drive beach, and only accessible by four-wheel drive. And wild horses are around, wild Mustang horses.
And a little bit about Angie, well, she is animal obsessed. Every time we go on a travel adventure, there's usually some animal or two that is spotlighted by the area. And she becomes absolutely obsessed with seeing that animal. And the animal here is
it's the Corolla Mustang. They were brought over here. They're the descendants of the original Spanish settlers of the island, and they're the descendants of those original Mustangs. And apparently, they're very majestic to see on the beach. I have not seen one yet, but I will.
You're majestic to see on the beach too.
Thank you.
So wild horses. So yesterday we went on about a 15,000 mile walk. It felt like 15,000 miles anyway. And looking for these wild horses, and we never found one.
We found tracks.
We found lots of tracks.
I followed lots of tracks.
And lots of horse poop.
Lots of poo.
So we knew they were there. So we tried to track them down, and we even had some horse tracks out in front of our Airbnb. But alas, as Angie says. Alas, no.
I will see the horses when I meant to see the horses.
But we've seen some dolphins, and pelicans flew right outside of this window. So it's a lot of fun. But she's animal obsessed. But we've been here since Saturday. This episode will be out on Thursday, and we're leaving on Saturday. But once again, from Saturday to Saturday. But we wanted to share why we're here, and in Turks, it was more of a pleasure trip with us also doing some business and some work calls. But this is really a business trip with a couple days of leisure involved. It's kind of a different take, but it's really the same thing. And we've, in that last episode from the Turks and Caicos, we talked about when we sat down and created a vision for our lives years and years ago. It was to merge aspects of our life that we're passionate about, and we wanted to be we didn't want there to be boundaries on work and life, work and pleasure. We wanted to merge and combine all of these, and I think we've done a pretty good job. So we are here in the Outer Banks because we have our Inner Wealth Mastermind spring retreat, and twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall, Angie and Kara Dossi, our ops assistant, find this amazing place, an Airbnb, a vacation rental, or whatever you want to call it. And we invite all of our Inner Wealth Mastermind students to come and hang out with us for a couple days, and we spend a couple days doing work together and being part of a community, being part of a family. And it's more like a family reunion in a lot of cases, because we see each other throughout the week on book study and on a mastermind call and on a business call and women's call and men's call and soul sciences call. We see each other a lot, but then we kind of emerge all in this, or converge all in this one place, so we get to be a family for a couple days.
Yeah, because our students are all over the country. Like we have primarily St. Louis clients, but we have people coming out from Seattle.
We got people from New Orleans, Washington, Yeah, we've had people from San Antonio. We've got people coming from Pennsylvania this time. So, all over the country, we converge, we get together, and we just hang out for a couple days, and we do the work. There are 3 things that I am super, super passionate about that I want to lock into in this episode. And number 1, first and foremost, is travel.
Yeah, definitely.
Travel is, we've always had an intense love of travel. And we had our Inner Wealth community call this morning. And I shared that when Angie and I got together, she was old shadow. We were both in our shadow. But, from Angie operating in her shadow, she says, if I don't see blue water one time before I die, I'm going to haunt you for the rest of my life. And she's seen blue water 15
Okay, let's just talk about the threat
times.
that I threatened to haunt you. I didn't hit you over the head with a frying pan. I threatened to haunt you.
Haunt me for the rest of my life if she ever died without seeing blue water. So, but
I'm just starting to haunt you for other things.
Yeah. Have you seen blue water?
Oh, many, 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 many times.
What was your favorite blue water experience?
Definitely Turks and Caicos.
I believe so.
Definitely Turks and Caicos.
I think we loved the Turks, and I think that's one of the only places we'd ever go back to the same place. But yeah, so a passion for travel, and in 2023 and 2024 we hit travel hard, and we did somewhere between 15 and 20 trips. I think we lost count, but man, entering into 2025, I think we were pretty tired. And I actually had 4 trips in January, a couple business trips, a couple that it was literally just a vacation. But we kind of downshifted a little bit in February and here into March and April.
Yeah, January, February was New York City, you were in Sedona, New Orleans, Turks and Caicos.
Yeah.
The only one I didn't go on with you was Sedona.
January, that was the heaviest travel month. And it's right after we decided that we wanted to downshift and travel a little bit, we had the heaviest travel month of our time. Mm-hmm. But we have an intense passion and an intense love of travel. So we want to see all the islands. We want to see all the countries. We want to touch foot on all the continents. It's like this huge draw for us to go witness and experience other parts of the world.
We were at dinner last night, and one of the servers said something. I mentioned wanting to visit Mackinac Island at some point. He said, "Oh, is that on your bucket list?" I'm like, I don't have a bucket list anymore because it's everything. Like, let's be honest. I just want to see everywhere and everything.
All the places, all the countries,
all the animals,
all the islands. See all the animals. Like in the Bahamas, there's this experience. You can go and swim with the pigs, and we had an excursion set up to go swim with the pigs, and it got rained out.
No, it was yes, and it was so windy, and this is something we didn't know, that the Bahamas was that windy. It was so windy it got canceled 3 days in a row. Every day they tried to make the trip happen, and we couldn't. So I left the Bahamas without seeing my swimming pigs, and I am perfectly fine, and I did not threaten to haunt you over that one.
I still believe that you're a little disappointed and a little sad because you didn't get to see get to swim with the pigs.
I'm not, though.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
when we left, she was sad. Maybe she's not sad anymore. Maybe she let it go. But we have an intense passion for travel. And when I went to Sedona, I went out and hung out with Brian Schroeder and his daughter Ashley. Brian's been on here on this podcast episode a couple times. We actually did an episode from Sedona at that venture. But we were also out there with in a workshop called The Game of Money. It was a Game of Money retreat. And we got to really bond and connect and dive deep with these people. And some of those folks have joined the Inner Wealth Mastermind. But we love the second element. We love being with awesome people. So we love going awesome places, and we love being with awesome people. The people that are coming, the Inner Wealth Mastermind students that are coming here, are some of the most magical people that we've ever got the opportunity to experience life with. Not just because they're clients, because we deeply cherish and value each other. And again, it's more than just a group of people getting together. It's more like a family reunion. And we love doing work, and we love doing life, and we love doing business with people that we love to just be around. And that was when I grew up, and you can tell me your experience of this, when I grew up, what I was taught was that work needed to be hard, and if it involved money, that was probably not going to be somebody that you wanted to be around. Like, I don't know why, but money and friendship were separated. Money and the quality of people were separated. Like, rich people were evil and greedy, and these are the things that were taught to me. And I remember my parents. We went down an aunt's house of mine, and she was very, very wealthy. And I remember driving back, and my parents talking about how she bragged about her money and she showed off and all this stuff, and it wasn't true. Looking back, it wasn't true. It's just my parents had this, and I love my parents, and they're no longer with us. And this isn't just about talking shit about anybody. This is really just understanding that people are operating at a level of consciousness, and they didn't have a high level of consciousness about money, that money could bring out the best in people instead of the worst. But I always saw that if they had to pay me, then it needed to be hard, and I needed to sacrifice and suffer. What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, same thing. I mean, I grew up I remember there was an incident. One of my second cousins, their family got really, the whole family we grew up pretty poverty stricken, some less than others. But one of my uncles was a successful race car driver, and he made a lot of money with his race car. And in fact, I remember when they moved out of our one street that we all lived on, and they moved into a nicer house a few miles away, and then they actually bought a house down here in Nags Head. And as soon as they bought that house in Nags Head, oh my gosh, the crap the family talked about them. Oh, they think they're hot shit now, and it was just bad. But I would go, yay.
Some of the people that we get to do life and business with, they have a lot of money, but it has definitely brought out the best in them. It has definitely brought out more love and more joy and more peace and more freedom and more fulfillment, not arrogance or ego or, when our people gather, when we gather, whether it be when we gathered at the Game of Money, whether we, at a retreat here, whether it be at a workshop, when we have our Choose Your Destiny workshops or the Inner Game of Wealth workshop, when we gather, there's people only lift each other up.
Yes.
There is no tearing down, and some of these people have a lot of money, and some of them have not as much. But the point being is there's no one tearing each other down. We're all looking to empower and inspire each other. And we find ourselves surrounded by people who are only driven by lifting others up. And there's no talking shit.
That's all we allow into our lives.
Yeah.
And we made that decision years ago too, that if you're that type of person, you have no space in our energy. And
we are always looking for awesome people and more awesome people to bring into our family, to invite into our work, and to invite in our lives. And that brings us to the third component of what I'm passionate about. And I'll speak for myself. Angie's got other passions, but the other thing, the third leg of I guess you could call it my passion stool, is getting to share the work that I do with people. So there's going magical places, beautiful places. There's being with beautiful people. And then it's sharing the wisdom, the beautiful wisdom and the beautiful empowering work and teachings and all the stuff that I have in my heart that's all just about lifting other people up and leaving them better than you found them. You put those three together, and that's like, whether it be from day to day, whether it be a week, whether it be in a retreat, workshop, awesome, beautiful places with beautiful people, with beautiful teachings that inspire, empower, and lift people up. And for me, there's no way you can lose when you combine those three. What are your passions? Like those are mine. What's not covered by that with you?
Well, my passions are animals, and my part in that, the first two pieces are the stool you just talked about. So my third leg would be the planning and the executing of the events. Like, that is something that I absolutely love to do. It's something I didn't think I could do years ago. We used to hire people to do it.
Yeah.
And in fact, my best friend used to work with us, and she used to do all the event planning. And when she moved on to other things, I can't do this, and I started doing it, and I love it, and I love creating. I love finding the beautiful spaces. And I did a video on this house. I put it on Facebook yesterday. I did an inside tour. So you can go to either mine or Mike's Facebook page and see the video. This house is just amazing. So yeah, Mike.
So what is it? Did you say a $7 million house? Or
3.1.
$3.1 million?
It's actually for sale, $3.1 million. It's right on the beach. We have a pier, we have a pool, a hot tub.
We literally walked down the steps and we're on the beach, and I think it cost $7,000 for the week.
Yes,
right?
that's where you got the 7 from.
There's the 7. So it cost us $7,000 for the week. It's got how many beds?
A lot.
16, 17, 18, something like that. It's got.
There's a room with bunk beds. There's a room with twin beds. So it could accommodate families, large groups like we have.
We've got a hot tub. We've got a pool table. Like this place is a mansion on the beach, and Angie gets to plan this amazing venture and this amazing journey. And Angie and Kara bring in awesome food, and we have meals together, and we break bread, and we share connection.
I was getting to that.
Yeah, we share all of that together. We'll talk about that.
Well, and one of the and another piece that I enjoy. So I like finding these places, and then I like backing into the experience and keeping it local. It's another reason we get to these places a couple days early, because I like to get the lay of the land and figure out what local restaurants do I want to patronize, which local experiences do we want to do. Like, that's very important to me to stay within the local community businesses. We've done these in Sedona. We've done this in, hang on, I'm trying to think.
Miami.
Gatlinburg. There we go. And this is our fourth out of a hotel. This is our fourth like destination retreat.
The first few retreats were like right during COVID, and they were in St. Louis in a conference room. Then we started having them in. We had one in Dallas and one in San Antonio.
San Antonio and Denver were the hotel ones.
San Antonio.
Denver.
Yeah, San Antonio and Denver were the other conference room, the hotel conference rooms. Then Angie and Kara took it on the road and started choosing these awesome destinations, awesome retreat locations, and putting these amazing adventures on together where we get to spend a couple days together and just be in each other's energy and the energy of love.
Yeah, and in the future, I want to up-level this and create even a higher level of retreat that's open to the public, that it's not just strictly our mastermind, because our mastermind is very sacred. We will protect the integrity and the confidentiality of that group at all costs. So these are not things that are open to anyone. But eventually I want to do something that's a very experiential, in-depth retreat where it involves his teachings, my plannings, my executing, and just create a whole new level.
Beautiful place, beautiful people, and beautiful work.
Yes.
That's what I'm driven by on a daily basis. And here's the coolest part of all of this, guys, for me. All right, I'm going to share the most amazing. I was sitting in contemplation a lot today, just reflecting on this. One of the biggest thorns in my side over the course of my entire life, one of the shadows that I've been working through my whole life, and I have a feeling this work's never gonna stop. But one of the biggest shadows that I've experienced is feeling like if I just truly showed up as Mike Kitco, shared what was on my heart, shared what was on my soul, made decisions that light me up, lean into being me and just being natural as Mike Kitco. If I ever just fully did that I would be rejected, that I would be ridiculed, that I would be laughed at, that I would be abandoned. There's this story in me my entire life has been about being me and still being okay and being successful as me. And I was sharing on our Inner Wealth community call today, and the community and the mastermind are different. So the community meets once a week, and it's really just about getting that's shot every week. And the mastermind's more of an academy where we study together and we read together and we do all these cool things together. We retreat together.
The community is like a weekly mic drop.
It is. It's a weekly mic drop. It's like a live podcast where it's a live. That's what it is.
Yes.
It's a live podcast where we can actually engage. So if you're ever interested in just jumping on a call with me, once a week to be able to like for Q&A or to be able to interact like with me and still like get that podcast, let us know. The Inner Wealth, you can go to the innerwealth.com or innerwealthglobal.com and you can apply for the community or the mastermind. But the point is I was sharing with our community that that when I've written a series of books and I've written a lot of content, but I've always kind of withheld a little bit of myself. I've often withheld from my books. I've withheld a little bit of, or a lot of it, of the mysticism, of the spirituality, of the woo, I've really struggled to let that out, and it's been because I guess part of me just wanted to be accepted and approved. And I wouldn't let that part of me like come out to play. And I went to a Dr. Joe Dispenza, couple Dr. Joe Dispenza advanced workshops, and I love the work of Dr. Joe. And in one of his books, and he's got a great book called Becoming Supernatural, in the very introduction, he says, this is the book that I've always wanted to write, but I was always afraid to be ridiculed because it was too spiritual and too mystical. And when I read that, I'm like, shit, so it's not just me. Like, I'm not the only one who feels this. And his first book was very scientific, and it got less scientific along the way and more spiritual and more mystical and more woo. And in his latest book, which it was out a couple years ago, Becoming Supernatural, he really lays out all the spiritual woo mysticism. And when I went to these advanced workshops, there were 2,000 people in these rooms who knew exactly what he taught, who knew exactly what he was going to share, who knew exactly what he believed, and they still showed up anyway. And I was like, holy shit. And when I went to one of the advance with Brian Schroeder, Brian said, look around, Mike. All these people want what you have to offer. Right, yes, I remember that. And I'm getting emotional. All of these people are waiting for you to really show up and offer because I'm in line with Dr. Joe. That's why I love him so much, because we teach similar things. We believe similar things. We show up in similar ways, except I'm playing this big and he's playing like humongous in the world, right? So, and it's just living, like being the full expression of yourself. And lately I've been showing up more in that mysticism, more in the woo. And if you're following along with the Inner Wealth podcast, if you go back a year, there's a different level of woo and mysticism that's showing up on the Inner Wealth podcast right now than it was a year ago, or even 6 months ago, because I'm leaning into it. And as I share what's really in my heart, people are leaning in. And it's like that's been a struggle for me to realize that if I just let the fullest expression of myself out, they wouldn't lean in. But I figured I had this shadow that said that they would lean away. And my new book, which will be out somewhere in June or July, it's called Inner World, Outer World, A Path to a Life Full of Purpose, Freedom, and Fulfillment. It really lays out all the wooiest shit that I believe in, which includes that you are not here to worship God. You are here to merge with God. You are here to become God. You are God in a human meat suit with a supercomputer attached to your neck. And you've got the creative power of God flowing through you. So it's time to utilize that. It's time to lean into that and surrender to that. What are your thoughts about all of that?
That's everything you just said is spot on.
Do you feel
really nothing.
Have you ever felt like you couldn't just show up and be accepted?
Well, yeah, I think we all mean, absolutely.
Yeah. So you've struggled with that too?
Yeah, but I mean, we talk about this in our people all the time. If we all sat, you felt like you couldn't be the full expression of yourself. I didn't believe this was all possible. I didn't believe that this was available. But if we all sat around a campfire and told each other what we were scared of, our deepest secrets, we'd all laugh at each other for lack of originality, because none of this is new. None of this is new. Yeah. Everyone experiences feeling inauthentic. Everyone experiences feeling unwanted, unloved. Everyone experiences feeling like they cannot have what they want. So
insecure, inadequate, and insignificant, right?
Yeah.
And here's what I've learned through all of this work is when I tell people what I'm struggling with or what I'm afraid of, it helps everybody else feel normal.
Yes, and it also, there's a level of giving someone else permission to share their shit as well. And I mean, I know that sounds weird, but if you lay all your cards out on the table, someone else is going to be like, oh, well, shit, I've done that too. So here's all my cards. And that's what when we talk about creating a container, when we talk about that container that we give, that's space for people to step into and step into their fullest expression, that's exactly what that means is, hey, look, I was a shitty person for a long time, and I did threaten to haunt you over not seeing blue water, and I have no regrets about that.
So, going amazing places because we have a passion for travel, being with amazing people that are authentic, that are unique, that lean into their differences. I'm getting teary-eyed. That understand and they lean into their magic and they love their magic and they love the divine nature of the power of who they are, and they love that there's a dream inside of them and they're looking to unlock that dream, and we all dream together and none of us are practical or realistic around each other. We just dream big, and I get to show up, do the work that I love, and have those people lean into my teachings, and it brings an element of passion to my life and love to my life, and I get to help people be inspired and live empowered. And that's my stool. And that's why we're here in the Outer Banks this week, to bring our Inner Wealth Mastermind together for a couple days to experience our dream and to help us live our dream. And they do every time they show up on a call. That's why we're here. And we just wanted to tell you that. Do you have any parting shots?
No, I just want to apologize to everyone for the weather this week. I do my research on these places. I check the average temperature, average high, average low. Well, there's an unexpected cold front going on, so it's going to be a chilly couple days at the beach. We had 2 not chilly days, which is why blood red again.
A little bit.
But no, I'm looking forward to continue to expand what we do and invite more people in to experience this with us. And I think that you stepping into your authenticity and being comfortable with being the fullest expression of yourself, and there's where the right people come leaning in. And that's why that's happening right now is we had a very large retreat last year, and we had a lot of people fall out over the past year, but it's because they really didn't know who he truly was and what the work was that they were stepping into.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. And that's in our Inner Wealth Mastermind and in our Inner Wealth community. I've given them all an advanced copy of Inner World, Outer World, because I want them to know really what's in my heart and really what's on my soul and really what the work I expect them.
You're not coming here to learn strategies and tactics.
No.
You're not. You're coming here to learn who you are.
And then when I was on a discovery call a couple days ago, I'm looking for another ideal private client. One more. I haven't accepted a private client in a while, but I was on a call with an awesome guy, and I just shared all the things about who I really am and what's in Inner World, Outer World, because I want him to know what he's stepping into in a coaching relationship, in a mentor relationship with me.
Absolutely.
Time to stop hiding.
Yep. Time
to stop hiding and to show up and expand our work that we do from this perspective. And guys, I'll sum this up again. Traveling awesome places, to be with awesome people, to teach awesome things, and to have people love the teachings that I'm most drawn to.
And if you want to see the house, remember to go to our Facebook pages. And one of our he's tagged, I'm tagged, but it's all public. So please look at this house because it's beautiful.
But if you love the woo, if you are looking for more purpose, more freedom, more fulfillment, if you know you're not built like everybody else and you want to harness your uniqueness, if you want to leverage and double down on your differences, if you want to start to show up like as your true nature, as you are meant to be, as you were designed, as you were built, and as you get to function at a high level, if you want to step into a community or work that'll help you do and be and have more of that, I'd love to connect with you. Just get in touch at innerwealthglobal.com. You can get my contact information. Mike@innerwealthglobal.com is my email address. email me. You can go to innerwealthglobal.com. You can apply for the mastermind. You can apply for the community. You can inquire about all the other products that we have. If that sounds like something you want to be a part of, lean in. We'd love to have you in our ecosystem.
And bonus points if you want to go bear hunting with me.
Yeah, there's always going to be animal chases involved, and I just all I can do is just slap my head and just let her go and do her thing. But we're gonna get going.
Yep.
We're gonna have our retreat folks start our mastermind starts coming tomorrow, and we'll have a meet and greet. We'll have a couple of drinks. We'll have a couple snacks. Thursday, Friday we're in session, and then we're back home Saturday. All right. Yep. That sounds something you'd be interested in the fall, in September or October when we go on our next retreat. Get in touch now, and we'd love to have you part of our family. All right? Till next time, we love you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing our game with us.